Get your day started right. From our shack to yours, this is
I guess the
Coffee
show's
and
starting.
Ham Radio.
I wasn't talking
We are
about
live
anything.
in 5,
Thanks,
4,
guys.
3, 2, 1.
I mean, Chuck was talking, but it was 7 o'clock.
It was Randy's fault.
Totally.
It's always Randy's fault.
Somebody's got something going on in the background. What's going on?
It's probably Randy again.
No, it ain't. It ain't Jim.
I said Randy. I didn't say Jim. Do you have a complex?
We all know
don't
that
be so sensitive,
Randy is
man.
code for Jim.
You got to take the
Everybody
con-
knows that.
Nobody knew
now
that
you just
until
ruined
now.
it. Now you ruined the whole joke, man.
I think I'm fixing
the
it.
show's over. Goodbye. Goodbye, folks.
Now everybody knows it.
Oh, damn.
Jesus
Whoa.
Christ, son.
Oh, my God.
I think a
Is Frank
colon
here?
fell
Holy
out.
shit.
It's that stupid-ass cat.
You have a cat.
It's going to be one of them shows. Welcome to Thursday night, folks, where we take the gloves off.
Hey, Bob. Brian. Let's see who else
And
we
that
got
was
there.
the
We got-
Saturday intro anyway. Really?
we got Evan Baccarat in here.
Yeah, who put that on there?
Covain, Cliff, everybody.
That's bar check, Randy.
Covain's here? I haven't seen Covain in a while, man.
Covain,
Bob.
brother, how you?
Bob the Hoa Ham is here.
Yeah. So Bob got me to
What did-
spend money that I shouldn't have spent.
What did you call Bob?
The
He
Hoa Ham.
he got me to buy that ground spike system or whatever, but
Nice.
I ordered it from the Maple guy, right? So he's got like a picture of like his icon is like the Canadian maple leaf or whatever it is.
Which means he's not from Canada.
Yeah, so I'm like, this is going to be quick. It's going to get here, Canada, Nebraska, short flight. Damn thing's coming from China, and now I'm all worried that I'm going to get the Gen 1 that busted all easy.
Oh,
And I don't want to go sledgehammer it and test it like Bob did. So, Bob, I'm going to be sending you pictures when I get it because I need you to verify that I got the Gen 2 model.
So what you're saying is Bob was going ham on that spike.
He was. He was. If you didn't see the video, you should watch it. It's pretty funny. Like he's got like sitting there like in a vice or something. He's got this big ass hammer. But he did a pretty good job. And there's Anthony. What's up, Anthony?
Anthony?
Anthony.
Anthony. If you get the Gen 1, Bob said he wants to know.
He's the first person I'm calling either way because I'm
You
going
gonna
to need some
complain,
verification.
You get a sternly worded memo?
Well, it's not his fault. It's going to be this Maple fella. I should have never trusted the fake Canadians.
Right?
Just a
Well, I
ground
mean, we know Molson. That should tell you everything you need to know about Canada.
Yeah, it
Fake
sure should.
Canadian. Fake Canadian.
Bar check.
Thank you. We got a new thing. Right?
We got 3 new things.
New one.
There we go.
Well,
We got one from Evan Barchek, and we got another one from Adventures in Blind Videography.
that's
All right.
a new
Thank
one.
you.
And Evan, 2 hams walked into a bar.
So, somebody was saying that sounded like a trumpet, but to me it sounds like a bugle.
I think it's a coronet if you really want to be pedantic.
I do.
You know, they're in
man.
the same key, right? They sound pretty damn close together.
Where's the crickets, Randy? Come on,
close
Randy. That was your cue,
close ain't
Randy.
the same.
We rehearsed this, Randy.
Exactly, Jeff.
Thanks.
It's a bugle. Anthony told me.
Bugle, cornet.
Adventures in
trumpet.
Blind Videography says he's a blind amateur K4JSJ from Birmingham, Alabama. Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
We look a lot better in person than we sound.
You all
Well,
got faces
today-
for radio.
Today's show is about antenna tuners and buying antenna tuners. And
Didn't
we
we
were
just
going to
do
get
this?
Jim to run the web browser for us tonight, but he's got to leave early. We don't know why. He just
What do
told us
you-
he had to leave early, and he kept it to himself as to
What
why
would
he's
you like
leaving.
to see? What would you like to see?
Well, I think at some point we're going to pull up some antenna tuners, but I didn't do any slides, because I didn't want anybody to say that we're killing them by PowerPoint. So I got a nice list over here of topics to talk about.
Well, you read slides better than anybody I know. So
That's what I do for a living, son. I just get up and put them up.
serious mid-level manager.
Yeah, that's what I do. But whenever they need somebody to talk to somebody.
They're at the Walmart
Assistant
in
to
Omaha.
the manager.
He
Yeah, they're
goes
like-
straight from his work, and he just
He's Abe
moves his
Schrute.
radio stuff right into it.
Right.
Just keep going.
PowerPoint Ranger.
Go over there and start
Ranger.
and start presenting. But today I think the first topic is antenna tuner, friend or foe. So a lot of
Friend.
people
I love 'em.
don't like them. They get upset. It's a hot button topic.
It is.
So, what are your
really
thoughts?
is.
What are your thoughts, boys?
Friend.
So you had a manual tuner in the slide in the thumbnail, and I think that's like the sexiest thing in ham radio is a manual tuner. The bigger, the better. The more knobs and dials and roller inductors.
Yeah.
I do like an auto tuner because I'm lazy. Don't get me wrong, but I
Right
think
there
that
with you.
Right.
Manual tuners are sexy.
You know what you can do with the manual tuner though is if you're using, especially on one antenna, like I've got the doublet, I have
it to stack things on?
You just have a list that has
some of that
all the
dream
different
music,
bands on it, and then you know where your settings are.
Thanks, Ronnie. Yeah, a lot of people put a little sticker or write on it with a Sharpie or something like that.
Yep.
Just have a
14074.
little list.
Check.
Yeah, I mean, look, Ed is saying that it's more fun playing with knobs, and I agree. Like you must be like Tio, a knob twister. So,
You see, I'm all about auto tuners. I don't want to sit there. I've had a manual tuner.
yeah, I prefer
I
an
think
auto
they
tuner
fail
just
more
because I'm
often, though.
lazy.
I have
I think
a
it's
manual. I have an auto tuner with manual buttons. I get the best of both worlds.
Well, I mean, I do. Yeah, I've got a 993B MFJ, and you can set the capacitance and inductance manually if you want to screw
Yeah,
it.
you can do that with I have the AT100 Pro 2 from
Yep,
LDG.
it does it too.
And you can adjust it manually if you'd like.
Yep.
But I never do that. The only two buttons I use on it are the switching the antennas from one to two, or hitting the bypass button.
I like the sound of an antenna tuner doing its job because it sounds
Tractor.
like technology, right?
Very agricultural.
This is serious technology here. Listen to all this clicking. This must be doing some science shit. Just
Magic.
saying. That's right. And LDG makes great tuners. I've got a couple of those. That's what's on
Yeah,
the
3.
Flex right now out in the shop.
Well, mine I'm a little upset about because I bought it and I thought it was a 100-watt tuner, and it is 100. I think it's actually 125. I think it can handle on single sideband, but for digital modes, I think it's only like 50 watts or something. What's going on here?
Nothing.
It's
Soapbox.
Nothing
it's only
to
like
see.
50 watts, and I don't care. I run my radio at 75 watts, so I just run it at Todd's saying 30-watt digital. I run it at 75, and we'll just let's leave it at that. If it burns up, it burns up.
Andy,
it
why are you
dies-
distracted? I'm curious.
If it dies, it dies.
Andy's probably tangled up in that homemade ladder line.
Ladder
showed
line,
us
yeah.
last night.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably
if you're
is.
not a channel member, you missed a hell of a supporters chat meeting last night. We all
that
got
was really
together and
good.
hung out, and Andy showed off some wire of his.
He showed his
Nice.
wire.
Yep. He's whipping his wire.
So the 993 is a 100 or 300 watt tuner.
So if somebody is getting into ham radio or getting into HF, do you say, hey, you should get a tuner?
Yes.
I mean, I probably would if no one's ever asked me that question, but I probably would. Yeah.
Now, see, there goes your thing with the 891. Well, now you have to buy a tuner, but now you just said you'd tell them to buy a tuner.
Who are you talking to? Tuner.
TO.
I think the 891 is a good first person radio. I think the G90 or a 7300 is a good first
Yeah.
HF radio.
Right. And they have
The G90
tuners.
or what was the other one you said?
The 7300.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm with you.
The 891 was my first radio, and I felt it's a great radio. Don't get me wrong, I love it. It's fantastic. It's got the best noise reduction I've ever not heard because you don't hear it when it does the job properly. But what I missed was it didn't have a built-in tuner. It didn't have a built-in sound card. It didn't have a band scope. And to add all of those things back into it would have cost you more than the 7300. So I think the
Right there with
7300
you.
Well, then just go
is a
991.
better value.
For about the same price, you actually get 2 more bands.
Well, the one thing about the
991A is a good radio
991A
each.
is that the band scope only updates once every 10 seconds. And that drives
So
me
you
nuts.
can-
That's
keep
not the
up with
A
it as a
model.
new ham.
That's not the A. That's the
Right.
non-A model. And those were pretty bad.
Well,
It's like an old school screen scrape stuff where it goes down like this and you get the
Yeah.
new one and it starts back.
it's like watching an
2400 baud.
oscilloscope from 1951.
I've got
Yeah,
one of
that-
those. Shut up.
Wait for it.
Does it turn on?
It
it
does.
actually work?
We've used
Yeah.
it. Yeah, it works. I don't
Oh,
know
your
what to do
old-
with it, but it works.
What your old scope?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that going in the trailer? I got to know. Is that going in the camper with you and the old lady?
It's on the dashboard in the tow beast in the truck.
It's on the passenger seat. It's in the passenger seat.
I need to get the oscillations from each individual wheel out of all 8 of them.
But yeah, so like when you get a radio like a 7300 or a 991.8, they have a 3-to-1 tuner in there, and while I think that is, I think that's awesome. I don't think a 3-to-1's enough. You know what I'm saying?
It's not.
Especially
it's a great help
for a new ham who may not really pay attention to how out of whack his antenna could be, right?
Yeah,
It's
well, like
better than nothing, but yes.
I mean, if you're doing like a dipole or end-fed half wave, I think you're fine with that. But if you're going to experiment around with other antennas and stuff like that, I think you need a little bit more.
I hate to use the words backtrack, but I will walk back my statement just a tad. If you are in the vicinity of a fantastic ham club with an operating station and a good Elmer, have a blast. And learn as much as you can by going to their operating sessions, whatever day, night, week, weekend, whatever it happens to be. But if you're at home by yourself as a first-time ham radio is very frustrating when you don't know what you're doing. The first thing that I did, I had an 891, I had an MFJ manual tuner, the VersaTuner 2 that everybody, the thumbnail picture for today. And I didn't know, this is way back when, I'm admitting it, that if you just key down on SSB and don't say anything, there's nothing to tune. There's no signal. There's no modulation.
Right.
As a brand new ham,
right?
What are you tuning? You know, and you need somebody to like give you that little nudge, like, hey man, you got to make some noise. That's why people whistle into radios, is because they want to make some modulation so they can tune.
Well, I always say
audio.
Right.
Audio. What is the tuning range on the G90? Ape, you've had
It's at least
I'm
10
pretty
to
sure
1,
it's
right?
a 10 to 1.
10 to 1.
Yeah, I'd have to dig it up, but it's good, is what it is.
Anthony
Yeah.
was saying it can tune a wet noodle, so
Well, I can tell you one of the firmwares that they released tuned your antenna at 20 watts, which ain't so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to smoke the finals there. He said we don't talk enough about the P word, which is perseverance or patience. But I agree with you, Liberty Cave. When you're a ham, be prepared for many failures.
yeah.
Yes.
Three of them in a
For
row.
learning experiences, teachable moments.
Right. All right, so we all agree that it's a friend versus a foe, and do you really need a tuner? And I think we got there. The next one I had, we touched on a little bit, was auto tuner versus manual, and then maybe we can talk a little bit about the pros and cons of each.
I
You know,
prefer
like I
manual
said, I'm
really most of the time.
I like the auto tuner. I just whatever. I'm just lazy.
Well, you guys
I mean,
don't
that's
run-
really what it boils down to. I don't want to. I switch frequencies a lot whenever I'm playing around, and so I don't know if you guys do or not.
I
Some
do.
people don't,
Yeah, I do.
but that's why I don't want to have any desire for a mag loop. Now, I want a mag loop because I want the challenge of building a mag loop, but I'd never use it ever. I can't see. It's too narrow banded.
I've built one. They're fun, and narrow banding is efficient.
Well, they're
Right.
efficient because the Q on it is so tight that you don't pick up a lot of other noise,
Right.
and it also doesn't semi-resonate on adjacent frequencies, right?
Built-in notch filters on that bad boy.
Yeah,
All
what
right,
do
so
we have
here we go. This is the tuning on the G90. The auto tuner is 15 ohms to 250 ohms, which means its range is 5 to 1.
That's it.
250 divided by 50 is 5.
Yeah, that's what it would be.
But that's actually a really good range. I'm not puffing the G90, but everybody uses the G90 and they say, I love the tuner. The tuner's fantastic. Good Game always says it can tune a dead goat. So
I've
good
never
stuff.
had it not tune what I was trying to tune up. Now my LDG has not tuned certain things. Like I put up an antenna before where it would not tune it. It would just constantly.
Yeah, and when we say 3 to 1, 5 to 1, 10 to 1, that's literally what we mean. A 250 ohm feed point impedance divided by 50 ohms, which is what your radio likes, is 5 to 1. 250 divided by 50 is 5.
Now you can hit a problem. So like say you have a 10 to 1 tuner in your SWR 7-to-1, you still might not be able to tune it because your tuner doesn't have enough either capacitance or inductance to make up the deficit of either one of those if you're tuning the impedance. So you could that's what I think the problem with my LDG was. Like, I don't think it was that far out of range. I just think that was the issue.
And I think Anthony has
No,
a good
Ronnie.
point here. The major radios should include a 5-to-1. I don't think that's out of it.
Well, the 7300 has an emergency mode, and I've never
Yep.
done a video on the emergency mode, which
I played with it once.
If you
Shame.
set it, it gives you 10-to-1 tuning, but your max power is throttled at 50 watts. But if you read any of the posts by 7300 enthusiasts, a great many of them have burned their radios up because they were tuning at 10-to-1. And I think it was the finals. It might not have been the finals. I can't remember exactly, but it's something that comes up often where somebody posts a picture of the smoked up 7300, and then it turns out that they were running in emergency mode, which is exactly that. It's for an emergency type situation. It's not for, oh, I heard somebody in Utah, and I need that for worked all states. I don't, don't.
Well,
let
they
the
call it
Constitution-
emergency mode for a reason. I turned it on. I looked at it once. I played with it for 2 or 3 minutes and just moved on.
Yeah, they're talking about the porn music playing in the background.
It'd be all right.
How do they know it's porn music?
Yeah, that says more about you than it does the music.
Yeah, I mean, really, you freaks.
It didn't sound like porn
Right.
music to me. I'm digging it.
Kind of low key, chill.
Maybe a little loud. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that.
There's always one whiner in the group, isn't there, Jim?
At least. Jesus.
All right, well, let's talk a little bit. The next thing I have on there is budget. And you got cheap, you got moderate, and you got expensive.
Budget. Budget's not a word that hams understand.
I gotta tell you, I'm done with these Chinese tuner kits. Done.
Yeah.
Finito.
And Chinese amps.
And that's why I sent it to you, son, because I was way done with it.
Well, that's an amp. That wasn't a tuner.
No,
that
I
was a
sent you
tuner.
a tuner, Cletus.
That's right. You did send me the tuner, and so I still have the parts. I'll probably still put one together. But the thing is that I don't necessarily trust them. And a lot of people do videos on those things. And they're like, "This is a fantastic tuner," but I don't know if they're measuring their antenna prior to putting the tuner on there and it telling them that it's just fine. You know what I mean?
Right.
What do we got here? You want to share that?
I was just queuing up some random things if you wanted them. Yeah, pop it up there. So you're talking about budget. That's why I pulled that up.
Yeah.
That's not a budget tuner. The LDG,
No.
what is the LDG 100? Like 120, 130 bucks? I'm not arguing, I'm just
170.
pointing it out.
100, I think 170. I'll pull it up too.
But I think that this
I'd
is.
say-
I wouldn't call that an expensive tuner. I would call this a moderate tuner.
No, that's middle of the
That's
road.
actually that's actually a really good tuner, to tell you the truth.
Yes.
300
The
watts.
MFJs are actually pretty good.
Yep.
I've
it
got
is.
one of the bigger ones, and it'll tune just about anything.
I've done a couple of videos on them. They're well built inside. They're not modern, but they do the job. And that's the cool thing about ham radio is even an old radio is still radios.
Right.
Right.
I think you,
Yeah,
you have to
one
shake
of
them
those-
first.
One of
So
those
this
MFJs has a 30-to-1 tuning ratio.
This is 20. This is stupid. I can't remember what it is, and it probably says it in here. It is. Shit. This thing. Will
It's sold
tune-
individually.
This thing will tune a rusty nail.
Isn't that the one you can buy as a
It'll
kit?
tune a
too?
tree.
32 to
No,
1.
that's the Versatuner 2.
32 to 1.
It says 3,200
No.
ohms.
64
to 1.
64 to 1. That's it.
64 to 1 is Circe.
Well,
So-
that's. It says 100 at 150 watts. So it depends.
Yeah.
It's wattage dependent.
Yeah.
Right.
But I mean, I got a 100-watt radio.
32,
So,
yeah.
booyah.
You're not pouring a full gallon into that.
Right. The other thing that's nice about
Gallon.
this tuner,
Oh, that's crooked.
besides the extra wattage that it has, this also has 2 antenna
What's the
inputs,
auto tuner?
and or you can hook up a wire to it. It will also work off a wire antenna.
So that
We
one's
got a
more
picture
like
of the hind
manual.
end of that thing.
Let's see what we got.
So that's
Never.
more like a
There's
manual
360. Hit
tuner.
that 360, man. You only need 2 pictures of this thing, but you got a 360-degree view. Pause it down. There it is. Oh, yeah.
You got to plus it up a little bit there, son.
Hold your water, son.
it's got your remote port.
Yeah. Now, I will tell you
Two
that remote
antennas,
port is
balance
some
line.
BS.
Random wire. That's a good tuner.
Yes. This is a really, really nice tuner with a lot of capability that's built into it.
Yeah, so when you look at that remote port, I guess who's going to run a VG? What is that?
Serial.
DB9.
Yeah, DB9 cable all the way.
It's
out.
actually not a serial port. It's
not a serial
it's,
port.
It's the remote of the front panel of the tuner. So you can put the tuner under the desk and you can have a little tiny box sitting next to your radio.
I have
It's
it.
not what you think it is. You do?
There, yeah, I bought the thing. And I was pissed when
Oh.
I got it and figured out it wasn't a serial port. Because I was going to buy it and dump it out and figured out all the commands to send to it.
I mean, you have the
CAD.
remote head.
I've got the remote thing. I got the dingus that plugs in the remote port, and I've got that.
Oh, you should do a video on that. You should do a video on that. I want to see it.
Okay.
So I was
It's
watching
not
a video.
It's not serial. It's just buttons.
No, it's not serial at all. I just don't
At
know
all.
what it looks like, and people need to know. You're doing them a service, Jim.
The people need to know. Okay, I'm on it.
I was watching a video, and this old boy on there was saying that he actually mounted his ATU 100, the Chinese one, remotely. So he had it mounted outside, and he had a Wi-Fi camera out there pointed at it, so he could get the readings off of it, and then he had a wire running all the way out there, so he could control it from the shack.
So that's a really interesting point. You really do. It's not really always practical, but you really do want to put the tuner before the coax. You want to get the match of the antenna to be 50 ohms and then send 50 ohms through the coax to your radio. You don't want to be tuning the coax.
Yeah, well, so when you tune your antenna system in the shack, like almost all of us do, your match is out the back of your radio and into the tuner, right? Well, you still have an impedance mismatch from the coax to the antenna feed point. So whatever your antenna is, you're getting reflections that go back and forth on your coaxial cable. Now, people argue back and forth, is a reflection really lost power? But if you have lossy coax, which everybody does, then yes, it's absolutely lost power. So you're right that you're much better off with it, even just having a trans match or something out there to get a better impedance match. You're better off.
So we as fellow toads think, get on the air, have fun, then get better. And we're
Right.
here to make you better. We're not here to argue with you about your compromised antenna situation and how dumb you are for doing the wrong thing. We want to
Right.
encourage you to get on the air.
I agree with Steve 100% on that. Don't be that guy. Well, I only use resonant antennas. If you're using a tuner, it's not real ham radio or some BS like that. Don't be that guy.
There's a place for resonant antennas, but not for a brand new ham. Get on the air, make some contacts, have some fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I would argue if you're doing SOTA, maybe you want to carry a resonant antenna for the one band you're going to schlep up a mountainside. Yeah.
Well, that's why
Purpose.
the link dipoles are so popular with those guys, right?
Yeah.
And same
This-
thing with with the Apollo, like our end-fed half-wave antenna. You don't need a tuner to use that antenna.
It.
We need to
it
see the back
has-
of this one too, Jim.
There's no picture of it.
Google Foo, man. Does this
And
have
Liberty's
balance
right.
line input?
Just
So if you only use a
water.
resonant antenna, what frequency do you use it on? So the problem is that what hams do, and I'm guilty of this, is that we use a really broadband and inefficient antenna because we
Right.
want to be able to not worry about it only being resonant on a single frequency.
Why I like my DX Commander. I want one antenna to do all the things. I
Right.
don't want 17 antennas.
Apparently
I mean, to split hairs, if you're going to work 80 meters, you need two antennas, one for 80 and one for 75. But people don't
Right.
do that.
Well, Adam Dennis, what's up, bro? When I got I guess we'll call my first real HF antenna, it was a 9-to-1, so I definitely needed a tuner for that. But what I liked about the 9-to-1
Hey,
is
Vern.
that I could just switch my dial to whatever frequency I wanted, and the tuner would take care of the rest, and I didn't have to
Is that a
worry about
Cabbage
anything.
Patch doll, or was that a Raggedy
That's
Ann doll?
exactly the Cabbage Patch doll. It wasn't a blow-up one like yours. It was a
Whoa, Thursday nights, man. We don't talk about that stuff in public.
Here we go, Phil saying that he uses a compromised antenna with the tuner.
There we go.
I think
You're
we all.
supposed
I guess
to.
I do too, actually.
So this is a little more
So, I mean-
expensive than Gigaparts, but
Let's look at it. Go on and click on it, son.
I'm on it.
So Anthony in the chat has a similar story to me. I was talking about my first ham radio antenna, which was a G5RV, and I went down to the club and I was like, "Hey, I've got this new radio. I'm a brand new ham. I've got my antenna up in the air. What is it? It's a G5RV. Oh, that's a compromise antenna."
That guy, always
And
that guy.
that really discouraged me for a long time from getting on the air, and I don't want to be that guy. Like, "Oh, you got a G5RV? That's fantastic." You know that G5RV? I was able to make a contact from Wisconsin to Japan on that using SSB mode. You'll get a long way with that. And let me know if you ever have any trouble. We got some tips for you. You know, that's a totally different
Yeah.
approach.
Yeah, I think that what we say is go with what you got, and then we'll talk about the results and what we can do.
Right.
But just
Come to me and say, "Why can't I get South Dakota?" I've got an answer for you, but
Right.
you got to get that question in your head first. I blame Marvin.
yeah, this is fair enough. Now, see, this thing's just got the coax connectors on it, right? How much is that thing? 500?
Yeah, 400 here, but it was 369, 329.
369 at Gigaparts. So this is $40 more than the MFJ, and you only have the coax connectors on it. Now, the MFJ and this one too do have specific cables for your radio model. So there's an ICOM cable and a Yaesu cable. If you can get the Yaesu cable to not drift around when you're trying to plug it in.
What's up, Joe Brett? I think there's something to be said. Like, if they were both sitting side by side and I could pick up and leave with whichever one I had picked up, I'd probably take the LDG.
Well, now
I don't
this
wanna
is
be
600. This is 600 watts, so
Yeah.
that's a plus. The downside is you ain't got the wires. For me, I wouldn't care because I have no intention of running ladder line.
Well, I'm going to say something dramatic, and the guys who run ladder line, God bless you, you're doing the right
Dun.
thing. I completely concede the argument that ladder line's better than coaxial cable.
You are
Man,
correct.
is it a pain in the crank? You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Why
Like,
is
like
it?
I do
Why?
not want to have to deal with that.
Why? Why is it a pain?
Do you have it running
Mm-hmm.
all the way inside your shack?
Yes, I do.
No, you don't. You told me you had to
Yes,
terminate
I
it
do.
in coax.
I do have it terminated.
All right,
in
let's get a
coax.
picture. Come on, let's get that camera.
Flip
spun
the
around.
camera
I
around.
can't
See,
move
this-
the camera that
this-
easy. It's all the way.
here we
It's,
go.
it's all the way in
I
my
can't be
house.
bothered. I can't be bothered.
It's all the
Yeah.
way in my house. I'll take pictures of it for you and show you.
Now these
Yeah,
are
after you go
We're
run
waiting.
it.
this is
We've
the
got
one
time.
you got 8.
No, it's already run. It's not
Steve,
as hard as
one of
people
y'all?
make it out to be. That's the
I don't
thing.
have that one.
That's a. That's
I think
just
Ape's
a
got that one.
wise tail.
Yeah, no, that's the Z. That's the Z11
11.
Pro 2. I've got the AT100 Pro 2.
Okay.
Although that's a really nice tuner. A lot of people have got that for the 891.
Yep. I had. Well, Chuck bought it from me. That's the one I had with my 890.
It's got batteries, right? Like, can't you put a battery
Yep.
in it?
Yep.
Yeah, it makes it heavy as hell.
It's the one I'm running right now.
It doesn't work with the
I use
705.
it does work with the 705 truck. I got a video on it, son.
This one 8.
Yeah,
works
see, I
with it. It doesn't
thought
work
when
well- it
Tio
doesn't
was
work
saying
well with it.
170, I thought that he might have been that beer that he's drinking must be kicking in.
Right. Or he's smoking something.
Right.
You're talking about Chuck, right?
Yeah,
No,
look at that.
you.
30 watts digital. Ain't that a kick in the pants?
Have you been running at 70 watts digital?
75. I've even
You
in an
rogue.
emergency situation, I've even turned it up to 100.
Do it. And you ain't let the smoke out, so that's a good thing.
No.
And if we pull up the 360 view on this bad boy, same deal.
Yeah.
But there ain't nothing wrong with the LGG tuners,
Let me see if I got
Right.
that other tuner sitting here.
in my opinion.
Nope, it's not sitting here.
What's wrong?
I was seeing if I had that. I have a manual tuner that's got all the connections on the back. I was just going to show it.
A picture?
Picture.
I
You
didn't
know
say
that thing we
picture.
asked you to do?
Yeah, you got to take a picture of the ladder line coming in.
My
here.
ladder line comes all the way in the house into a 4-to-1 because that's.
And
what
you
I
don't
bought
want to move
originally.
it because it's a pain in the ass, right?
It's not easy to get to. It's over there and behind the some stuff.
It's the wrong sound effect, Jim.
I know. I don't care. Whatever. There it is. So it's a pain
No, I'm
in
talking about the
butt.
super chat that Vern just sent in.
Oh, no, that wasn't for Vern. That was for Chuck.
This is for Vern. Thank you, Vern.
Thank you, Vern. Thank you. Appreciate it, man.
I'm running
So
my
if-
doublet right now.
So I mean, like that first off, that 550 ladder line is not cheap, and it's heavy as hell. So like you're gonna have to have a good mast or a mounting system to have it all the way up in the air, and then you want to run it straight down and then across the lawn, right? Like a lot of times I see people have it running
Off the
on
ground. 10
yeah,
foot in the air.
I don't know, all these crazy angles and stuff like that,
So you can run the lawnmower under it without having to get off and lift it up over your head.
and it's not flexible or anything like that.
Yeah, Scott, I
don't know.
caught that too.
Are we
flexible
arguing
as
about
coax.
ladder line, or are we talking about tuners? I mean, I'm just
Ladder line.
okay. All right.
Tonight's show
That's
has
clear.
changed topics to ladder line.
And we really just don't want to talk about how long it took to walk through the infield at Hamvention and look at all the swap meat vendors again.
Right.
Right.
Did we look at
So
them?
Dan was
We didn't
asking
see 'em all,
about
though.
compact tuners.
You and I did, Chuck.
Oh, that's right.
Compact. The
Compact
Z100 is a compact. The
is.
Z817 is a compact QRP tuner.
Yep.
20, I'm going to say 20 watts. And it's not limited to the FT818, the Yaesu. It'll work with any QRP radio.
I have one, and I cannot find it, and I haven't seen it for probably 4 years, and I've looked everywhere for it more than one time because I wanted to use
Bag
it.
with your 818.
No, it's not with the 818, and so the thing is that what I wanted to do is I wanted to use it with my Lab 599, but I
It'll
guess
work
I'll
great with
just
that.
use. I guess I'll just use the one that the MAT 705,
Yeah.
which does, I think it has auto sensing. I've got to test that.
And John's right. The Elecraft T1 is a great auto tuner, but they're impossible to find. It's tiny, it's compact, it does a fantastic job. It runs off of a 9-volt battery. It's got latching relays. We haven't talked about latching relays yet. We need to talk about that.
And why don't
you
you,
got
when
it?
you brought it up, why don't you start
That's at least
explaining?
10 to 1 also.
You're currently showing something, so you go first, then I'll go.
Well, this is that Chinese tuner, and I have not tested this one yet, so I have to test it. This is the one I had to replace the screen for, because when I powered it up, the screen just stayed blank. But I bought one of these, and I bought it off of Amazon, and I paid like $99 or something like that for it. Because I was thinking maybe if I get it off Amazon, it won't be bad. And it was the one I had all the problems with. It was a mess. It had the mismatched diodes. It never would tune. It wouldn't tune. Like I made a couple custom dummy loads, and it wouldn't tune those the same way twice. It was like lightning. It doesn't hit the same place twice. So I sent it back, and then I ordered this one off of, I don't know, Alibaba or whatever. And I think it was like 39, 35, 40, 45, something along those lines. And I knew I was going to have to do surgery, so I ordered the $15 parts kit. And then Jim just sent me his. His came like this, but I think when I got it, it was a parts kit. I'm not 100% sure. See, Don's pushing the ATM 100M, the AT-100M. He's been pushing
That's
that pretty
the
hard.
Ant tuner.
I'm not getting it because it's only a
Is that
3
right,
to
Don?
1.
So, real quick, the tuner you have in your hand, Ape, that was made by N7DDC. The design was
Correct.
made by N7DDC. The design is sound. The design is good. There is an unscrupulous group of people in China who have gotten the plans for it and made a kit. And not a kit. They made a product, and they don't know what they're doing. And if you open it up, you can see that they've never seen RF in their lives. They don't know what they're doing. And I'm not saying that being bad or mean or anything like that. It's a literal fact. They just read the instructions literally and put it together. And so the diodes that Ape's talking about, there's 2 diodes, and it says you can use X, comma, Y. And what they did was
Right.
they used X and Y, and they should have used 2 X's or 2
Or 2
Y's,
Ys.
but not X and Y. So that's where the problem comes in with the ones that you get from China, that they're literally put together by people that don't know what RF is. So that's where that problem comes in. It's a good sound design.
Those little kids need jobs. So you shut up, you meanie head.
Here,
Right.
look. I don't know how well this is going to come across on the
Jim's
on
got
the
his
green
glasses
screen.
on.
But you can see right here are
Yep,
2 different
yep.
components side by side, and they're supposed to be the same diode as
One's
part of
orange
your,
and one's black.
yeah. One is
Yep.
one is a fake Xenier diode surface mount, and that man, these things are effing small too, bro. And the other one is a surface mount. So if I was going to use this kit, then I would have to take these off and I'd have to redo them.
Fix it. Yep.
The other one is like the way that they have like the power cord and the ground cord runs right down the center of the tuner in between like all your inductors.
You'd think that
and
would
stuff.
interfere.
It would. So when Raphael rebuilt his, he took those wires out and ran them separately. And then the other thing he did is that he choked off a bunch of stuff, which was fantastic.
You'll see
idea.
Raphael in the chat. He's over in the Toads Discord. Fantastic guy.
We have a. Thank you, ATV Ham.
So there's a question. If you have both, do you manually then auto-tune or reverse or just one used? So legitimately, you should only use one tuner.
Right.
But if you have two, you have to really work hard at this. Take the farthest away tuner, put it into bypass mode, use the nearest tuner, tune it as best as it can. No, I got that backwards. See, it's hard. Take the nearest tuner, put it in bypass mode, use the farthest tuner, tune it fully, using as best as it can. So you're going to go from, I don't know, 30 to 1 down to 10 to 1. Then take your second tuner and go from 10 to 1 down to, 1.5 to 1, 1 to 1, 2 to 1, whatever you can do. Ideally, you don't want to be that far out that one tuner can't handle it. And so you'd want to use like a 9 to 1 balun or a 4 to 1 balun or something, or some kind of transformer that will transform the impedance of the antenna down to something that the tuner can then tune, and then down to your radio. And you're going to have compromised results for sure, but get on the air, man. Enjoy it.
Yeah, I think Anthony's got it right. Just stick with one tuner. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, just do one tuner.
If you're that far out, you've got other problems that we can help you solve. So definitely join us over on the Discord, and we'll talk about helping you out.
So I'm going to have to go here in a minute, fellas, but we got a giveaway
bye.
to do.
Oh, nope. Stick around for the giveaway.
Yeah, I thought so. So
Me love you again.
Baseball. Hashtag
we got some baseball caps. You have your choice
this
of a.
Oh, it's a choice. I love it.
What do you want? I mean, I don't care. You want me to just pick whatever cap I pull?
No,
out?
no.
Is
I
what
was
they
going to
do?
ask you if it was a choice, and then you said it was a choice.
It's a choice.
Yeah. I
So
like
we
it.
have R&L Electronics. We have the blue and red and black Yaesu hats. I guess that's black and blue with. And then we have the black and orangey red Yaesu hat.
I like that black and orange. That's sexy.
So if you will drop baseball, #baseball in the comments, you will get a hat in the mail to you tomorrow.
Phil's already won. He wants the blue hat, please.
The blue hat, please.
Phil, that's not how this works, brother.
Look at Dennis. Dennis is saying that he's got the N7 DDC ATU 10 from the official vendor that the true USDX maker approved, and it still don't
Nice.
work.
Yeah, Don is leaving for the same reason I am. We're hanging out together after this.
You're
Is
going
it
to
a
talk
flex
flex
thing?
Yeah, you're going to the flex. You're eating some meatloaf. Eating some meatloaf.
Oh, yeah.
together.
Did you see that?
God, I
did
hope
you get
there's
the
no
bulletin?
meatloaf.
Did you get the bulletin, Jim, from Flex?
What bulletin?
The free Maestro?
Yeah, I saw that. I read that. I laughed.
Giving a free Maestro.
All right, man. Hit that draw button, son.
Let's do it. Oh, there was another one. All right, I'm doing it. Done. Click.
Do it.
What do we got?
Just
We
do
have
it.
2 giveaways, so there's another one.
I see
after
Bill,
this
I see
as
Steve,
well.
I see Bob, I see Rod, I see Andy, I see Tim, I see Chuck, I see Lewis, I see Jonathan is the winner.
Hey, Jonathan.
Congratulations,
John,
Jonathan.
Hey, Jonathan.
Done?
Look at him all stoic in that pose.
Really?
Yes, that's right. That's right. I won.
It's me.
That's right.
I'm fancy.
Congratulations,
All right.
Jonathan.
Jonathan, drop your call sign in the chat. So my secretary over here. Damn it.
Faux 5
Over
is saying
there.
Jim is going to
got your back.
Stuckey's. Jim is going
Jim.
to Stuckey's for
Big Jim.
dessert.
Big Jim. All right, we have another giveaway tonight.
Jim's
So I can get this box out of my
Scott.
office.
Jonathan says he is KI7 BSJ.
Steve, if you'd shoot me that.
I got
in
you.
Disco. Or
I
something.
got you. I got you, brother.
Appreciate it.
Don't you worry, Jack. You know I got your back.
Look
Got
here.
another Kenwood mug.
a fabulous black Kenwood mug with the official Kenwood logo and
These-
some paper.
Jonathan, did you say what color hat you wanted?
He did not tell. Yeah.
Jonathan, we're going to need some details. You want an R&L hat, a blue Yezu, or a black and orange Yezu?
So, let me get back to that tab.
We still don't know why Jim's leaving early officially. He has not.
Jim is
though.
going to the Flex Stream with
Oh,
Dawn.
we know.
What's the Flex Stream?
Do you have a Flex?
No.
That's why you're not invited.
Yeah, it's 'cause
Oh, burn.
I could have bought one, but I didn't want one.
Well, you were too cheap to buy my 7610.
Well, I didn't want that either.
You didn't want that either.
I don't blame
Oh, I
you.
got the Sun SDR.
All
I'm
right.
going to buy a 7610 for.
If you want to, I don't.
They're
know
all
if
trying to
it's
guess what the
for-
word is. Big Jim, Waffle
son of a
House,
gun.
Muggy, Mug, Mugopotamus.
Yeah, as soon as I turned it on, I got 3 entries. I was like, "That's good. You guys are good."
Y'all guys are awesome.
Jonathan wants the blue Yesu, please.
Blue
Blue
Yesu for
Yesu.
Jonathan.
Excellent. We got you, Jonathan. Thank you, Ape.
Excellent. Bueno. So drop a Kenwood in the chat if you'd like a Kenwood coffee mug.
That is a sexy Kenwood coffee mug, I gotta tell you. We said one
We
to
have-
Garth. Garth was impressed.
We have one left, and I really was going to keep it, but I don't drink coffee out of coffee mugs anymore. I use Yeti cups. so-
We use the Coffee and Ham Radio's official tumbler. Where can you get those, Jim?
coffeeandhamradios.com.
30-ounce tumbler. Keeps hot stuff hot, cold stuff cold.
And it prevents catastrophic tump overs.
Oh, Jim's got a model there, too.
That's right.
Jim,
Notice the pinky,
Pinky out.
extended?
You have to have the pinky extended. It's a rule.
I'm
he's
drinking
all
tea,
like,
mate.
I'm going to the Flex Stream. Hi.
That wasn't the button I wanted to push. If only Randy was here to do his job.
Oh, my goodness.
I guess
Okay.
Randy's going to the Flex Stream.
Holy moly, Jason. It holds a full bottle of wine. Okay.
Where did the giveaway tool go?
It'll
there?
you could put two things of 2020 in there.
All right. I'm hitting the button. Bazow.
Oh, I see Jason. I see Keith. I see Vern. I see Steve, Andy, Joe, Brett, Paul, Jeff, Dave, Todd, Tim.
Didn't we just
Tim.
send him something?
Man. Well, you let
He
him be
think-
on the show with us. I mean,
He must think he's Liberty Cave.
I guess.
Tim getting the mug.
Didn't
Tim
Liberty
getting-
Cave win like 3 shirts?
Rosa. I can't think of her name.
Rosa is her name.
Well. and let's
Rosa
do the-
Yesu Rosa.
Yesu Rosa. Let's do the other mug.
Are you
Shoot.
putting a different
I
phrase
am.
phrase that pays in there?
I am going to do a completely different
The
phrase.
phrase, the pace. Let's do this live so everybody can see what the phrase is. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Oh, they can't type all that out.
Oh, I know Liberty probably can't spell that.
Good thing you picked on Liberty and not Don. Don's been getting sensitive lately. He private messaged me and told me, Jim, back up. Oh, sorry, Don. I didn't mean to let that out in public.
He thought we were picking on him too much.
Mug me. That might be a little suggestive.
All right, drop
Boone's
a
Farm.
mug me
Nice,
in the
Brian.
drop a mug me in the chat. And I haven't had Boone's Farm since high school. I gave that up.
Oh, yeah, man, you get a little bit of that strawberry fields. It's not so bad.
My girlfriend liked Tickle Pink back in the day.
I was telling.
I bet she did because you weren't doing it for her. Ooh! Jim, you just set that one up, brother.
I have 3 or 4 more snarky comments to go with it, but I was trying to keep it down to PG-13 and not NC-17.
Yeah, last night I was telling horrible stories about the jokes I play on my wife. So she was having some of her lady friends over for drinks, and they were like, "Oh, Abe, make us a drink, make us a drink." And I had some kiwi strawberry Mad Dog 2020 in the fridge. I don't want to explain why, but I took margarita
Members
glasses.
only.
Yeah, I took margarita glasses and I put like a sugar, like a red rock sugar rim on them, and then I crushed ice and I poured the Mad Dog in there, and then I cut like some blood orange and some limes real thin and would float them on top. And I gave them to them, and I was like, "All right, tell me what you think it is." And they're like,
I'm
"Oh, I
I'm
can
drinking at
definitely-"
Ape's house.
They're like, "I can definitely taste the vodka It's like Grey Goose and some kind of crushed red fruit. You know, they were saying like all this kind of stuff. And then I told them what it was.
Ted,
Like,
Todd,
man.
Bob, Paul, Jason, Arnold, Tom, Andy, Cliff, Phil, Dennis. Jason wins.
Hey, look
Jason,
at that.
love it. Jason
Excellent.
deserves to win. Jason, it's been a long time since you've won something on the channel. I think like forever.
Two
was,
mugs and a
Andy.
baseball cap. Excellent. So if you don't know, there's a little tiny story. Because of Hayden's video of me buying a 500 at RNL, RNL sent me a whole box of swag from RNL. Thank you, RNL. We appreciate it. Because they thought the video was hilarious, which it was. I didn't swear as many times as Hayden was beeping. I'm just saying.
Nice.
Mostly. So that's what we have, this whole box of swag from our friends at RNL, and I have a great radio at an awesome price when I bought it at the Hamfest.
Jason says he's good on the Zed.
We're going to
Excellent.
ham it forward.
Excellent. Oh, we're hamming it forward?
No,
Oh,
no,
you
no.
mean
You
the-
are hamming
okay.
it forward from getting all the
Yes.
stuff, all the swag
Yes.
from RNL.
I really did want to keep the Kenwood mug because it's a sharp looking mug, but I'm a
I know
Yeti
where you
man.
can get one.
I'm a Yeti guy now. All right, fellas, I got to bail, so y'all have a good show.
See you, Jim.
Well, have
Yeah,
fun.
Jim.
I wonder why Jim was so conservative about telling us that he was going to the Flex stream.
You didn't want to flex this time.
He was. He's being very coy about telling us where he was going.
And then there were 3.
Yes,
right.
it was.
Can we set it up for the Fox News argument stream?
Right.
I'm going to cut you off.
Let's see what we got on here. We covered.
So I was going
remote
to talk about
antennas.
latching relays while you're going in to figure out what to queue up next.
Do
So
it.
some tuners, some automatic tuners have relays in them, and they require power to. So let me back that up just a little tiny bit. When you are using an automatic tuner, it has a bunch of inductors laying out on the circuit board and a bunch of capacitors laying out on the circuit board. And what you're doing when you're tuning an antenna is you are adding inductance or you are adding capacitance to fake the radio and the antenna into believing that there's a match. So in order to do that, the computer processor inside of the tuner will pick an inductor and pick a capacitor and test it out, and then pick another one and pick another one and test it out. And that's why you get that kind of agricultural tractor sound about it. If you use a regular desktop ham shack, stay in the shack kind of tuner, it has regular old-fashioned, I don't know, automotive relays, for lack of a better term. They need power to be applied to them 100% of the time, and that keeps the relays latched in their position of using this inductor and this capacitor to make a match for your antenna. So if you are using a portable antenna tuner on battery power while you're out in the field, you don't want to use that power all the time. So LDG and Elecraft both make tuners that use, and a lot of other people do too. They both make tuners that use what's called latching relays. So you tell it to make that click, and then it stays there until you apply power to it again to unmake that click and make a different click. And so it doesn't take a lot of power to just sit there and be tuned. And most of the time when, like, I'm going to work FT8, I want to tune it once, it's going to stay tuned, and it's going to stay tuned for an hour and a half, 2 hours while I'm running FT8. There's no reason to consume power. So latching relays in an auto tuner for portable use, fantastic.
Yeah, and a tuners, sometimes those things will have 7, 8, 9 relays in there. So
Yeah.
they can eat up power if they require persistent power. So somebody asked you to talk a little bit about what a relay was.
Did I do that good enough, or do I need to do it deeper?
I think you explained the latching function of the relays, but not so much what the relay
Yeah.
itself does.
So typically a relay is designed so that I can apply low power to it to make it do its relay job. A relay is an on-off switch, essentially, that's addressable by a computer program in this case. And you apply low power to the relay to say, make the switch, and when it makes the switch, it then transfers high power through the high power side. So as an example, your turn signals in your car run relays, and if you didn't have the relay in place, you'd have a full 55 watts of DC power coming up to the turn signal stalk on the dashboard. That might be considered to be a bad thing. So they put relays in, so you've got 12 volts and 5 watts, 3 watts, some low amount of wattage to not harm you if something short circuits or something. You're not going to get zapped hard by the switch. And so the relays are there. They switch high current when you apply low current to them. Does that make sense?
It sure does. And some relays are single throw, single pole, and some are double
Nice,
throw,
Dennis.
double pole. He's totally
Explain that
right.
one to me.
Dennis got it right.
Well, it's the so Tio was talking about that the relay will have it's like an on-off switch. Well, some of them have one on-off switch, some of them have two on-off switch, and the double ones sometimes the switch is both at the same time, and then you can also switch them independently to do different things. Now, a lot of times people talk about an auto-sensing tuner or an auto-sensing amplifier, and what you do in that case is that when you key up, your RF actually is that low power that T.O. was talking about, a portion of it, like they fed it through resistors and diodes and all that stuff, to have a little bit of that power route to the relay to control it, to let it know that, hey, the radio is no longer, the amp or the tuner is no longer in bypass mode. It's now ready to perform some action. And then you go into your SWR bridge,
Jesse
right?
is
And if
right.
the SWR bridge, depending upon the feedback that it gets, will tell an IC. In the old days before IC, it was just a bunch of components to apply either capacitance or inductance or a mixture of both, or it would tell it to go ahead and amplify a circuit, and then that was how an amp would work.
Yeah, so KY4DOC, the Kentucky Doc, has a question. He says, I have a DFib. If I tune a high SWR antenna down to 1-to-1, is there still tons of RF in the shack?
Yep, it could be.
That's an ape question. Yeah, I think the answer is definitely maybe.
Yeah, you definitely could get a lot of it. So if you think about your radio or your rig, and it's got all those wires coming out of it, effectively all of those wires are antennas, not just your antenna. And then if you have common mode current, which everybody does, I don't care what anybody says, coming back at some level into your shack, that's looking for a source to ground, right? So it'll come into your radio. It might go out through your USB sound card interface. It might go out through your, I don't know, network cable, your HDMI cable, any of that kind of stuff. So like a problem that I've got right now with my Sun SDR is that when I transmit on certain bands, I have a fan and that will turn on and off. And if it turns on, sometimes it'll switch settings all through RF in the air. And it also will trip my GFI ground protectors in my bathroom sockets. And the other thing is that it'll make my monitor on my computer turn off. And that's all from RF being present in the shack. So what you could do is wrap yourself in aluminum foil.
That solves every problem right there, brother. So overlanding for fun, just because you asked, it's like kind of like an electromechanical switch. No, it's an electro switch. Mechanical would require some type of solenoid, some type of electromotive force to move the button. And just because you asked, I'm answering. It's an electrical only switch. It's one signal telling another
It's
signal.
electromagnetic. I think he was right.
Yes,
Where's the
I don't
mechanical
know.
part?
It's right there.
Where?
got it
It's
right.
right there.
I don't know if Chuck pulled a plasma storm and Googled that or not.
It's
Really?
two pieces there. Two pieces.
Yeah, there's a
Yes.
second one.
Oh, okay, well, you got me on that one. I would say no. I would disagree with that.
I don't know enough about them.
Electromagnet? There's a little tiny electromagnet in there, but there's no mechanical force. It's not like a starter solenoid.
I don't even know what a starter solenoid does.
Starter solenoid pushes the ring gear up, the gear up to the
Right.
ring gear.
Or power door locks on your car is what I would think is an electromechanical switch. You make an electrical signal to force a mechanical action to happen.
man.
So that's what
I-
so he
I
did
agree
pull
with
a
you.
plasma.
I agree with you because you did bring up electromagnetic, and I agree 100% on that. You are correct. I will concede that.
It consists of electromagnet, mechanically movable contact, switching points, and a spring. That's what it has
Yeah.
in it.
So Tim, I was wrong. I will admit it. I was wrong.
They're used a lot of times
Can you
for,
clip that out, Ape? I was
for
wrong.
lights and stuff.
We'll put that into a short. So Lee is saying that no, it's like a little solenoid with contacts.
Yeah, like breaker
I
points.
can't give you a picture, so I can't. I, don't
I
think
believe
I can
you.
post a picture.
I told you I agree. I believe you. Don't need to beat
I
me
didn't-
up, Chuck.
I didn't totally understand them either, but a friend of mine,
Yeah,
like
you're
for
right.
doing
I
lights and stuff
wasn't
like that in
thinking.
your vehicles, You know, it's you had most of it right, I think, with the low power to run high power stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
them all.
don't know enough about them to. That's where I look at the pictures to make sure the wires are connected right.
Ron has it. Ron is absolutely correct.
Well, there you go, Ron. And I think that the Brojet's mostly right.
Here, I can do this.
Can
now.
confirm. Richard, see you later.
See you, Richard. Let's see what we got here. Jody's got some, looks like words of wisdom. Even the MEMS relays still have moving parts. The only way to use a solid state relay, SSRS, is to have an AC load. RF switching is stuck in the mechanical land, though MEMS are making them tiny. I didn't understand any of that, but it sounds smart.
It's kind of like the
Jody, I agree.
surface mount stuff, right? Make it
I
small.
will actually, while I'm in the mode of conceding, I will say that Jody's smarter than all of us.
That's very possible.
He probably didn't have to look it up.
Yeah, he probably pulled a plasma and Googled it. I've never seen anybody Google faster than plasma. I give him that.
He's got skills. He has a particular set of skills.
Let's see.
I always
The
like
next
that
thing-
line in Taken.
Yeah, that's what
a certain amount of
when he's
skills.
threatening the guys, like, I will
Yes.
find you. Right? I'll
I will
get
find you and I will kill you.
I have a very particular set of skills. I will list it on eBay. I will put it in a package. I will ship it to your doorstep.
They really milked that movie, didn't they? And they're like, it's like the Fast and the Furious series.
Not
Is
as
it
bad
like
as
taking
Fast and
4
Furious.
out now?
I think it is 4 now.
I
They're
said
like
peculiar.
5
wrong.
behind them.
Thanks, Liberty.
Right,
Thought you
well,
were
the
my
next one
friend,
will be
Rick.
somebody taking his goulash at the old folks.
I'm
home.
surprised Liberty didn't tell me that the Christmas Mountain or whatever it was, radar was gone.
I like when Family Guy parodied it. I have a very particular lack of skills.
Liberty said you said peculiar wrong.
I did. I'm sure I did.
I don't know how much more we got to cover. I'm going to run down a list real quick, and then we can say if we want to cover it or not. So, oh, damn, now I can't find
I'll tell
it.
you what. One reason I run a manual tuner is because that's what I trust with my amp in line with it when you're running some power. And plus, most of those ones you guys posted didn't have enough.
Well, the one was 600 watts. But what are you running, a full gallon over there?
Sometimes I haven't in a while though. I got to hook up something that will run a full gallon.
So did Abe say not to buy the Sun SDR?
No. I didn't say that at all. I didn't say that at all. I love that thing. I like it very much.
They do grow on you, I have to say.
Yeah, what
Dude,
I'm
you
saying
were not
is
an SDR fan at first, Chuck.
who?
Me?
Chuck.
Well, even my 991 is SDR, but not.
Chuck was
the same-
super het
not in
all the
same
way. No
Not the same
waterfall,
way.
super het.
I had waterfalls.
Now,
No, my 3000 had it.
Yeah, I don't know about
My
that.
Kenwood didn't have it. It's not as nice as the 705s.
the 991 updated faster than the 3000 did.
Yeah, the 3000
Actually,
updates every 2 minutes,
the
right?
3000 was made to have a waterfall later. in
Wait a
life.
minute. Hold on. Did Jim bail on us to go join Kyle's stream?
Oh, did he? That little
Well,
son of a bitch.
I have an announcement to make. We actually have an opening again for another fourth member of Coffee and Ham Radios.
When you
So,
bail
Joe
out
Brett,
on
this
our
is-
stream to go join another stream,
Yeah,
that's
Joe
not
Brett,
a
this is
real
your
move.
chance. This is your chance to get away from those Clubhouse boys. So I had matched antenna, resonant antennas, remote tuners. I had Matchbox/transmit. We didn't really talk about that. And then I had to look at some tuners, which we did do. We're down to two minutes left in the show. So a lot of times people will put like a trans match, and that's really what like an UNUN, like a 9-to-1 or 49-to-1 is when you put it as your antenna. And that's really to do the impedance matching at the antenna, so you have less work that your tuner needs to do.
Put in a good word for you, Anthony.
Yeah, can he play bass? That's all we need.
He's got the
Third?
voice.
Or,
He does.
He's
or
Mr.
does he do,
Bassman.
or does he do second? I'm watching it right here to see if Jim pops up in here.
I bet you that's what's
So,
happening.
so we got to stay on for a little
Some
longer.
bitch.
Start streaming it. Stream their stream on our stream.
Yeah. I don't know. T.O., you got to do that. That's over my pay grade.
Cornbread says he's going back and forth
got
between
you.
the shows.
They haven't started yet. Or I'm on
I
time
don't know,
delay here.
Vern. Vern, we'd pick you, but you're bad luck, bro, with the snake bite and the lightning strike and all that. And didn't you step in a pothole and all that other stuff?
That I saw you in a wheelchair, man.
Jim must be late. They haven't
Nothing wrong with
started yet.
wheelchairs, but
Well,
was
Anthony is a
standing-
bass.
Vern
Anthony
was
is a
sta-
bass player.
He was standing tall when we were at Hamfest. Man, Jim's got a lot of people wanting his job.
Yeah, he sure does. This must be the stream. If Jim left just to watch it, he better be on that stream.
We left
Well, I mean-
15 minutes early. I mean, how long does it take to click a button?
well, you know, he's got to go hydrate, urinate, masticate. That means chew.
Right.
He does.
Well, he probably had to go outside and get his Marlboro menthol in, right?
Yes.
Is that what they are, the menthols?
No, in Jim, yeah.
They are the menthols.
Well, you were living with him.
Yeah, but we don't
I mean,
smoke in the
short
hotel
time,
room.
Short term. Yeah.
you
Sets-
guys
sets
went
shit
outside
off.
for your menthols.
Well, Liberty, I wasn't going to say it.
What did he say? I missed it. Sorry.
He's not sexy
He's-
enough. I don't know if he can do the dancing. If he can hold up to the dancing. And by the way, overwhelmingly, the chat wants to bring back the dancing.
Okay. We just need some new theme songs for the dance, I think. We need to mix it up a bit. You're getting
We'll have to find
stale.
something.
We're
I
waiting
wonder
for
if these-
Kyle.
Yeah, I wonder if these boys are waiting for us to wrap it up.
Oh,
We're waiting for them to get started. This could go on forever.
it
Would they-
started, but it's
And a
oh,
Mexican
here, let me skip
standoff.
that.
You know what they call it?
Oh yeah, Jim's there. Jim,
That son of a
Mike,
bitch.
Jim, Mike,
Robert's there. Mike's there. Bill's
Bill's
there.
there.
Don. Traitorous Don.
Hey, guys, I got a
check this
stream to
out.
watch. I got to go.
Yeah, right. XTO's going to be on there.
Check this out. How you spell Telemundo?
I don't
I
know.
can't even spell right.
TME.
Yeah, it'll get there. It'll be close enough. One word to James. Telemundo.
I put a link to the stream that the traitor is on. We're going to have him do the shame walk. No, wait a minute. I don't want to see that either.
Yeah, everybody's got to go over there and shame Jim.
Look at him flexing with his wallpaper just like Bill.
You never see him do anything fancy like that on a car show, do you? And look, they made Jim the center square. He must be the
Circle gets the square.
he must be the guest of honor.
Jim gets a flex and now he's a flex boy.
Right.
He is.
Look at his pose. He's sitting there trying to.
At least he's got the Coffee and Ham Radio's Tumblr. I have to give him that.
It looks like they froze up a little. There we go.
This is riveting.
I think we're going to have to go over there and do a little bit of trolling.
The 6600
I'm
has
already
been
trolling.
discontinued.
All right, well, I think that's going to do it. I'm going to hit the button. Thanks for watching,
Do it,
everybody.
son.
Oh, how am I
Much
going to watch
appreciated.
the?
Fantastic.
How am I going to watch the Flex thing?
I put a
You're
link
right
in the
there.
chat.
Yeah, there you go. All right, take care, everybody. Had a great time.
Later on.
Thank you, folks.